Hello, I'm Love and Lies Audio, and here people share their real stories of heartbreak, betrayal, and survival. My girlfriend invited her ex-boyfriend over to my house, and I was furious. Completely, totally furious. I felt I was being generous with her. I told her she could have a friend over, and I'd go out with my buddy Mike. I trusted her. I thought it would be an innocent thing, a friendly get-together. But I didn't ask about this friend being, and that lack of curiosity would cost me dearly. A few minutes later, I got a message. They had already arrived at my residence. I responded with a casual okay and tried to keep my focus at the gym. I kept telling myself over and over, it's okay, it's just a friend. Don't think about it so much. But deep down, a knot had already formed in my stomach. When I eventually got home later that evening, exhausted and eager to collapse on the couch, something was off immediately. Sitting by the door were a pair of gigantic Timberlands. Men's boots. My stomach fell. I comforted myself. Maybe it's a roommate friend. Just chill. But my gut didn't play along. I walked into the living room, and there she was, on the couch, laughing and smiling, leaning just too close to a man I had no trouble recognizing at all. Kyle. Her ex. My blood ran cold. My head spun. How the devil did this happen? How could she possibly think this was okay? I tried to stay calm. I greeted him. He sneered at me. Kyle, Lily's ex. My stomach was in my throat. That was when the betrayal hit me in the face like a chest blow. She had brought the ex into my house, my haven, and had spent hours alone with him. She said nothing to me. She hadn't even thought about asking permission. And then, in that moment, I felt invisible. I told him it was time for him to go. He looked at her, as if her view mattered more than mine. That was it. I had had enough. Do I need to ask her? I screamed. Get out of my house! And at last, she intervened. She told him to go away. He gathered his things, and I escorted him out to make sure he really did leave. I returned inside, and I was met with her glare rather than gratitude. You shamed me, she said. You overreacted. I reminded her softly, though my insides were trembling. You were sitting here with your ex. You didn't give me a heads up. You didn't have my back. You egged him on. She tried to clarify, trembling in her voice. He's fighting, she said to me. She just needed to help. Nothing happened. I told her it didn't matter. It's respect. It's respecting what you choose. It's respecting me in my own house. The following morning she arrived, begging, weeping, swearing she loved me and nothing had happened. But all I could sense was cold lucidity. Love was no longer sufficient. Trust had been shattered, boundaries crossed. And then the idea of revenge started seeping in. Not violent, not hurtful, just exquisitely edgy. I wished for her to feel the pain of her own disrespect, to make her realize what she could lose. I began quietly, putting up a post online about moving on, about respecting myself and my boundaries, about the type of respect I wouldn't settle for. She noticed. I knew, because the calls ended, to be answered by texts, brief, curt, agitated. Then I had my closest friends over. Nothing crazy, just a chill. She figured she would quietly slip in and apologize properly. But I closed it off. This was my place, my crew, my domain. She lingered on the periphery, trying to insinuate herself, and all I did was smile politely, keeping her at arm's length. And then the theatrical moment. I cooked a light supper, casually uninviting, for some acquaintances she recognized, friends who understood loyalty and respect. She showed up unbidden, hoping to plead, to beguile, to sob, to coax me back. But I had thought this out. I greeted her with a smile that did not reach my eyes, and she felt it immediately. I offered her a glass of wine. You can stay, I said, voice firm, nearly gentle, but as a guest. She tried to talk, attempted to apologize, attempted to cry. I held my ground. I allowed her to use her words to try to hurt me, letting her know that she had no power here. She was looking at me as I was now, strong, determined, unbreakable. She saw the weight of her choices for the first time. That was my revenge. Finally, I turned and walked away, standing by myself with friends who had witnessed my composure and my restraint. I did not scream. I did not humiliate her. I did not tell her to leave me alone. I simply walked away and let her learn from her own shame and the fact that what she'd done had consequences. The best part was, she understood, finally. She had been confused, assumed I would forgive anything. But I had reclaimed my dignity, my house, my life. Sometimes the greatest revenge is not in war. It's in showing that you flourish, that you rise, and that you can live without the people who disrespect you. I didn't just survive the deception, I owned it. And that was more than anything, argument, apology, or temporary reconciliation ever could. Thanks for riding with us to the finish. And don't forget to subscribe to Love and Lies Audio, where every story reminds us that silence does not equal defeat, and quiet endings can be the loudest victory.